it's Kennedy from Science Storytime. We are back for week 2 of our at-home science experiments. I hope you're as excited as I am to do some science together. So today we're going to be learning all about density by creating our very own lava lamp in a glass. So all you're going to need for this experiment is a clear glass, some salt, some cooking oil, and some water. And then you also can have food coloring, but that is optional. Alright, let's get started on our experiment. So we have our oil and salt, as you can see, and I also filled up my glass about 2/3 of the way with water, and it doesn't matter if you use a tall glass or a short glass, but what really matters is that you can see through your glass, so you want it to be clear. Another point right now is this is where you could add your food coloring. I personally do not have any food coloring at my house. The experiment will still work without it, but it will just look a little bit cooler if you do. So now is where you can pause and add your food coloring. And also this is where you're going to add your oil, and you're just going to add it until it's about 1 inch thick on the top of the water. So now that you have added your oil to your water, notice how they do not mix together. You're going to add your salt, and this is the really fun part where you're going to see your lava lamp in your glass come to life. And for this, you're going to want to either use a salt shaker or grinder. I'm using a grinder, but both will work just fine. You just don't want to add too much at a time because the experiment won't work as well. So you're going to add about 10 shakes of your salt to your mixture, and that's when you're really going to start to see the experiment start to work. But I will say that the more that you add, the cooler it will look, and you can continue adding it for a longer period of time to make your experiment go on. And then after you add your salt, I want you to observe your glass and see what happens. So go ahead and pause your video and try this out. So here is what happens when you add your salt to your oil and water. And what I really wanted you to notice was how the bubbles come back up to the top, which is what really makes it look a lot like a lava lamp. So let's talk about the science going on here. Water is more dense or heavier than the oil, so the water sinks and the oil floats. But notice that the water and the oil do not mix. That is because water loves to be near water and oil loves to be near oil. Water does not like to mix with oil, and this is because oil is hydrophobic. Can you say hydrophobic? This just means that oil does not like water, so they stay apart. And salt is a solid, so it is the most dense. This is why it sinks to the bottom, bringing the oil with it. And once it starts to dissolve, the oil floats back up to the top, creating your own lava lamp in a glass. The perfect book to pair with this experiment is called What Floats in a Moat, and that is written by Lynn Barry. And this really just further takes the conversation about density by talking about what floats in water and what doesn't. It's a really fun read, so go ahead and read that book if you are able to. We hope that you enjoyed the experiment, and we'll come back with another one for you next week.